when you have an idea for something and it like keeps you up at night, leaning into that and just doing like what you can do and trusting that God is going to take care of it in ways that you can't even think of. And especially if you're doing it with somebody else, so it's not as lonely. I mean, it just has really surprised me.
Welcome to 3%. We're your hosts, Jamie Haig.
And I'm Blake Roberts.
We're two best friends, fathers, husbands, and just two guys trying to figure it out.
We're also therapists, which is probably a pretty important part.
That's true.
And we believe that at our best, people are 97% honest with themselves and others. And it's that hidden 3% of emotions, needs, desires, and behaviors that we keep to ourselves that keep us bound to shame and loneliness, from which many of our issues stem.
Each week on this podcast, we'll interview leaders in the fields of psychology, theology, arts, and athletics to explore holistic masculinity. We're not here to tell you the man you need to be, but we are here to help you explore what gets in the way of being the man you want to be.
We're going to help you develop courage and give you the tools to share your 3% in the relationships that matter most so you can more deeply connect with yourself, God, and others. So, pull up a chair.
Let's get into it.
So let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Welcome, everybody, to the 26th episode of the 3% podcast. And in 2 days from you listening to this, it will be exactly 6 months since this show has released. I know we need like a like the buttons.
Derek, hit us up with that thing, dude.
Derek is our amazing editor, for those of you who don't know Derek, doing all the magic behind the scenes. We are, as we were talking about this episode and what does it look like to celebrate with you all, what does it look like for us to reflect on this whole project and what it's been and where it's going, we were just overwhelmed with gratitude for ourselves and listening to what the Spirit in us was leading us to do with this project, with this business, with this community, and then just like the impact that it's had has been unreal. And so we wanted to take time today to just reflect on that. So we're going to kind of set the scene about like why we're celebrating, maybe even a little bit more about the origin story, sort of this short version. I know a lot of you have heard the origin story. We're going to share some highlights and listener feedback. We've received so many messages in the last 6 months from people and how this has impacted them really vulnerably. And we've been super grateful for that. That has been like wind in our sails to keep going definitely. Whenever this feels really hard. We're going to share some just behind the scenes real talk of what it's like to do a podcast every week for 6 months when you are running private practices and have little kids and are just doing emotionally heavy work every day.
That's right.
What we've learned in 6 months and just kind of looking ahead and some dreams and visions we have for the future, and then a little bit of a call to action at the end. So stick around for that because it actually is going to be something that I think some of you are going to want to stay around for because you might have the opportunity to do some one-on-one coaching with Jamie and I. So stick around to the end. But before that, go ahead.
Yeah, we also feel like we just want to model for ourselves, but maybe it's modeling for you too. Historically, Blake and I were, like, neither of us were great at celebrating in our own lives. And that can make something feel perpetually not completed, like goals weren't hit, or it's like we're just going to continue doing just for doing's sake, and we don't want that to be a part of this show, and we want celebration to be a big part of the 3% community, that these milestones, whether they're smaller or they're huge, we want them to feel like a big deal.
Yeah, because they are, and
they are.
It's not just our milestones either. Like, it's ours being you who are listening.
That's right.
There's a reason we intentionally called this the 3% community. or a men's mental health community is kind of our tagline right now. Instead of calling it a podcast, instead of calling it a business, because we really have, I mean, that's what our whole show is built on, community with ourselves, with each other. And so that's really what we've wanted this to be. And it has already felt like that. And with so many of you that we haven't even met in person yet.
Yeah.
And so this is our milestone. So as we're talking and you're maybe hearing some things in our story that bring up something in you, like, just know we want you to feel the gladness and the gratitude that we do, because we really, even though we are talking to you every week, it doesn't feel like that to us. It feels like we're moving through this together, and we're just really grateful for y'all.
Yeah.
Should we start with sharing some of the nitty-gritty stats,
Oh, yeah.
which have just been kind of mind-boggling to us?
Yeah, and to just celebrate some of the particularity that it feels like God is in with this show.
Yeah.
Blake and I showed up this morning. Today is August 14th. It's actually my son's 4th birthday today.
Happy birthday, Leo.
Happy birthday, Leo. Shout out. But we showed up to record the 6-month celebration episode this morning. And overnight last night, we hit 10,000 streams on our podcast platforms.
Bow, bow, bow.
And
Which does not include YouTube. So it's
does
even more
not
than that.
include YouTube. Yeah. So that feels so particular that
Yeah.
at 1 a.m. I got a push notification that I saw when I showed up to record this morning
Yeah.
that we had hit 10,000, and now we're here to celebrate today. So that feels
And we already had this episode scheduled to record today.
right. So it's just that particular,
Yeah.
we talked
Kindness
about,
of God.
yeah, we talked about with Dan Allender that engaging with the particularities of our story is how we do harm to the forces of darkness that would otherwise harm us.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so when we talk about that, the celebration's part of that process. We are engaging with the particularity that 10,000 episodes happened last night, and that's not a coincidence that is what we're talking about this morning. And to celebrate that is important. But like Blake said, that doesn't include YouTube. And if you do include YouTube, we're over 12,000 streams now because of you guys,
Insane.
which feels wild to me. I think, Blake, you looked up what that meant
so
for us.
For those of you who don't know anything about podcasting, which was us,
Like
other
us.
than that, we listened to them and we love them. After some research on the interwebs, so take this for what it's worth.
Right.
No professional has told us this except for the internet. Over 12,000 streams and downloads in the first 6 months of a show that had no prior existing audience. So one of the things that is unique about this show is Jamie and I, neither of us had a significant platform or audience before starting the show. I mean, we maybe have like a few followers on Instagram, and we had a little bit, but like nothing at all compared to some of these other really big authors or influencers or leaders who have a big following and then start a show that then kind of takes off. We were like starting from scratch, and nobody was asking us to do it.
I mean, nothing compared to even like my 17-year-old cousin.
Yes.
That's how small platforms.
Yeah. So what that means, what 12,000 in the first 6 months means, is that for putting episodes out weekly, that puts us at an average of around 2,000 downloads per month and roughly 350 to 500 downloads per episode, which puts us, are you ready for this? Puts us in the top 10 to 15% of all podcasts globally in terms of per episode download, releasing weekly.
10 to 15%?
Yeah, top 10 to 15%. And I remember reading this stat at some point before that a lot of podcasts that start don't make it past the first like few months. And so there's an element of like just we have made it like kind of over the hump that a lot of new podcasts don't make it, and then we kept going. But yeah, according to the internet, if
Right.
you're a podcast expert, data expert, please maybe don't tell us if that's not true, because
Yeah,
it
we're here
feels really
celebrating.
good.
Just leave us alone if you know what's true about that.
We're just gonna let that give us some energy, whether it's true or not. But yeah, like I read that a lot of podcasts take 12 to 18 months to get to this point where we're at, and we've gotten there in 6 months, a little bit before 6 months, because we're recording this before actually the 6 month mark.
That's right. Yeah.
And that is just wild to us.
And that's completely due to everyone who's listening sharing intentionally with other people.
Yeah, like we're not running ads, we're not
No.
paying for anything. Like that is all organic growth, which is
Yeah.
such a testament to you all.
Yeah. Yeah. And shout out to Jackson, who is working with us, who helps us with
Yep.
all of our social media. He's been keeping that flowing, which has helped us bring in
Totally.
some new audience as well.
Yeah. Will you read, just because I think this is so cool, read us the different countries that people listen
Oh
in.
my gosh, guys. This is wild. So, celebrating the things that are surprising in the first 6 months. This one's near the top of the list for Blake and
Mhm.
I. We figured we would, a couple of one guest, Sheila, is from Canada. So I figured maybe we would have some viewership in Canada.
Mhm.
Y'all, we have viewership in 51 countries. Let me just give you the rundown.
I didn't
of
even
these
know there was
countries
that
real
many
quick.
countries.
Let me just give you the rundown of these countries real quick. We've got the United States, which definitely dominates most of our viewership.
Yeah.
But
Really?
we've got, oh yeah, oh yeah. United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, Germany, Puerto Rico, Norway, New Zealand, South Africa, France, Paraguay, Italy, Singapore, Barbados, Malaysia, Ireland, Switzerland, Poland, the Netherlands, Mexico, Indonesia, Spain, Brazil, Kenya, Malta, Sweden, Philippines, Albania, Slovakia, Austria, Finland, Sri Lanka, Czech Republic, Turkey, Denmark, Israel, Russia, Ethiopia, Venezuela, Croatia, Nicaragua, Thailand, South Korea, Malawi, Guatemala, Colombia, Ghana, Nigeria, and India. I mean, what?
That's real? That's not made up?
Those are all real. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm just scrolling. For those
Wait,
of you, for those of you who watch, I'm literally just scrolling where it lists the names.
On our Spotify creators account. Wow. When you were reading all of those, what was going through my head is, wow, English as a language travels really far, or somehow these get translated into a different language, which would also be really interesting to listen to.
That would be sweet. If that is happening, I want to know how we sound.
That's crazy. That is a crazy stat.
Yeah. And so predominantly that audience is male. We've got like a 67% male audience. But another surprising to me was we have 28% female audience.
Yep.
And we're really glad you're here. I feel like that
100%.
You will help inform our community and help build our community in a unique way. Maybe you're here to understand the men in your life better. Maybe you're here to help care for your husband better. Or maybe you're here to help care for yourself better.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason you're here, thanks for being here. And then we got 5% of people who don't want to tell us they're 3% of their
That's
gender,
okay.
which is, whatever. Do your thing. But
And that's just amazing to me, because we started this hoping that it would matter to a few people, because
Right.
we thought it would, because it mattered to us, and it has mattered to obviously so many more people in ways that we would not have expected. And I would say even mattered to us in ways that we didn't expect.
Well, and yeah, I mean, and even to highlight that, like in those 51 countries, the smallest percentage of viewership was somebody who had listened 12 times.
Oh, wow. So it's like not even just a one-off.
Yeah, like somebody in those countries regularly listens to our podcast.
Thank you, somebody, whoever you are.
Yeah, really, really cool.
If you're in one of those countries and you're listening, shoot us a message. That would be
Yeah,
so
please
cool to
do.
connect
We
with
want to
you.
hear from you and how you found out about us. Yeah, I think we did start this hoping that it could impact someone. And I think one of the most encouraging things for us has been hearing how it has resonated with such a diverse group of people, and how differently I think in a lot of cases it's resonated than we expected,
Yep.
which has been encouraging to us and really humbling, because it reminds us that it doesn't resonate because of us.
Mhm.
It resonates because God is trying to say something specific to specific people,
Yeah.
and us opening the door to that or making the space for that to happen
Yeah.
is our obedience in it.
100%. 100%. And like I remember when we went to the cabin and we were recording, we were writing out our goals and our dreams for this year. And walking away from that, our biggest one was, or at least the most clear, doable one was, we're just going to publish episodes weekly. And we are going to trust God to do the rest, whatever the rest even is.
Right.
And we've done that. And the ways that God has shown up in how it has served people. So like not what we've gotten from it. We're not making any money on it right now, at least.
Right. We're
In
paying
the
to
hole
do
a
this.
little bit, actually.
Yeah.
The ways that it has served people is so encouraging and so like such a kind reminder of why we're doing it, and even helped me see why we needed to do it in an even deeper way than we thought initially.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I think like that has been something that I have learned from doing this, is when you have an idea for something and it like keeps you up at night, leaning into that and just doing like what you can do and trusting that God is going to take care of it in ways that you can't even think of. And especially if you're doing it with somebody else, so it's not as lonely. It just has really surprised me.
Yeah.
And Jamie and I, like when you guys send us messages, which maybe we can even read some of them anonymously, just to show like we're not just saying this. This is literally deeply impacting you, and that has been so encouraging to us. And we like immediately will send it to each other, and just are elated every time we receive a message like this.
Yeah, it's just so encouraging to keep doing the work to see that this matters for somebody.
Yeah. Let's read a couple of them. We can even go back and forth. I've
Okay.
got one pulled up right now.
Okay.
So these are all from people that have replied to like an Instagram story or sent us a podcast or an email or whatever. Never have I felt more seen by a description of my experience than this podcast. This was in response to the Emotions for Dummies Like Us episode. This was a description of what I experienced that I couldn't even convey myself. So cool.
Yeah. I'm smiling because I'm just like looking through. Yeah. It's hard for me to read some of these without like giving away some identifiers. But we'll say, okay, here we go. Simply wanted to convey my gratitude for the exceptional work we're doing with the podcast. Our thoughtfulness, curiosity, and integrity have been a true source of encouragement. In the way that mystery often unfolds, I stumbled on your work and have been delightfully refreshed by each week's absurd relevance as I navigate a disorienting time in my own life. That feels common to me, that
Yeah.
somebody stumbles upon it and then it's been particular for them.
Yeah.
And what this person said after that is, I have especially admired how you authentically embody the values you discuss, modeling well and illuminating truth. So it's just like, yeah, he ends with, what a gift to hear voices so committed to leading from a place of genuine self.
Mm,
Like, that's
so good.
unbelievable.
This one about brought tears to my eyes. Your conversations create a space for something I've deeply craved. Honest dialogue around masculinity, faith, and emotional depth. Each episode feels like sitting down with close friends and having the kind of meaningful conversations I rarely get to have, which is exactly what we want this to feel like, by the way. Especially with other men who love Jesus and understand the intricacies of the therapy world. You've even made me wish I lived in Tennessee so I could pull up a chair in person. Come on.
We wish you did too.
Come on. Everybody else is doing it. Literally
Oh, yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah.
Your vulnerability and transparency are a gift. This podcast is feeding my soul and sharpening me in every role I carry. This is from a therapist. I've become a better clinician, better man, and a better husband and father because of it. Just unreal. Keep up the incredible work. You're making more of an impact than you know. And it's like, yeah, apparently we are making more of an impact than we know, because getting a response like that is like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This medium, this content medium, podcasting, is so strange because we're having fun, we're connecting, we're enjoying these guests, but then we're sending it out to apparently over 12,000 people listening.
Yeah.
That, like, we don't know how it's landing.
Yeah. It's a
Just kind
void.
of putting out into the void, into the ether, and hoping it resonates, and apparently it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I've even had one friend, he apologized to me because he was listening and sending me feedback every week. And he apologized, and I was like, dude, you have no idea how encouraging it is to hear how something resonated with you
Yes.
when we're really just like talking at a microphone and hoping.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
to that friend, you know who you are, and to all of you who have been encouraging us, commenting. Shout out to my guy Doug Hunt, who has been commenting relentlessly on Spotify and in that way helping other people find our podcast.
Yes.
I know we
You're the
want to
man,
be
Doug.
somewhat anonymous here, but like, Doug, you've
It's a
just
public
been
comment.
like, yeah, it's a public comment, and you've just been doing the work for us, brother. So
Yeah.
we appreciate you.
Yes. Shout out, Doug.
And specifically, if you guys want to help us in a way, doing what Doug does by commenting, even if it's something that doesn't feel super deep and meaningful to you, commenting helps push our podcast to the algorithm and other people to find it. And it may seem like, oh, I commented last week, I don't have anything to say here. Just comment, love it. Whatever you want to say.
Even if you said, like, Blake, your mustache was on point this week, that would help.
Oh yeah.
That would help me feel better about myself, and it would help
That's right.
the algorithm.
Yeah.
And if you're not watching, you can be like, it sounds like your mustache is on point this week.
That's the comment. If you don't know what to say, tell Blake that his mustache sounds good.
Somebody's going to leave that. I feel like it's going to be Connor.
I hope it's a bunch of people. That would make me very happy. Should we tell them some of the top podcasts?
Yeah. We have so many comments that we could read through, like literally a whole folder on our phone. But yeah, let's share some of the top episodes, because that would even be a good, like, if you want to help share this and get it out to more people, these are some ones that have been really resonating.
Yeah. The number one episode for us, and this makes sense because we've had so many takeaways from this one. We've already talked about one on this episode. Was
Let
A
me guess.
Deep-Rooted Marriage with Dan Allender.
The man, the myth, the
I
legend.
mean, come on. It just, the way I remember specifically him talking about the idea that you can be courageous with your physical body without being courageous with your heart.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we need to get him back on. That was like our third episode too.
Yeah, yeah. And then second place, understandably, what a blast. We do need to talk to this guy again, Scott Erickson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we told him we were going to follow up, and we will. This is our reminder to message Scott. We've been keeping up with him here and there.
Yeah.
What a joy. That guy brings light, man.
Yes, he does.
Third place is The Sex Talk You Never Got, Sam Jolman. Yeah,
Not a
dude.
surprise at all.
No. That book, Dan said it. I don't know if it was on the episode or when we were talking outside of the episode, but Dan Allender said if you're going to read any book this year, read Sam's book.
Wow.
He didn't even recommend his own books.
Compliment.
I know. So if you're listening to this and you haven't listened to that episode, listen and then go read the book. Because I have had another friend who does listen to this show tell me that it's one of the most impactful books he's ever read. Yep. Next would be Ben Kramer,
Oh yeah.
The Power of Cultivating Humility with Ben Kramer. What a gift of a human being that guy is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way that he just leans into things
Yeah.
is pretty inspiring.
We recorded with them, and just so this community knows that he walks the walk, he texted Blake and I on Father's Day just to encourage us. And like that was just so, yeah, that's just
And we
who
weren't
he
really
is.
like friends before recording either. Like there wasn't
No.
a lot of relational equity there.
No, we've just become friends, and he's just genuine and cares. Our most vulnerable episode, Dr. Andrew Ballman.
Mm.
That guy's a beast. And
AKA the one where Jamie cries.
yeah, AKA tears.
The one where Blake, that's what we should have titled it. The one where, like, friends. The one where Blake sets up Jamie to be a puddle without him knowing it.
Right. I think in terms of...
I'm just waiting for you to get me back with something.
Right. In terms of surprisingly difficult things, it was really hard for us to release that episode.
Yeah.
So, and on the flip side, surprisingly amazing things. That episode is our 5th most popular.
Yep.
And despite some technical issues, it's the one that people message me the most about. So thankful
surprised.
for that. Yeah.
Yep.
Next would be Sheila talking about how to get on the same team with your spouse. If you haven't listened to that episode yet, y'all, it really has affected the way that we care for our wives. And I think it could do that for you as well.
Mm-hmm.
The next would be Eric Floberg,
Oh, yeah. That was our first athlete
our first
episode.
athlete. Yeah. What a multi-talented dude.
/ creative.
Yeah. So creative. And also ran like a 2:30 marathon, which is just
fast.
Or what am I saying? Yeah. Holy cow, that's crazy fast. At first I said it out loud and I was like, there's no way he did that. And then I was like, that is what he did. You can fact check me later, people.
Yeah.
Healing What's Within with Chuck DeGroat. I'm rereading that book right now. Y'all, you need to listen to that and then go get his book because it's a real gift.
Yeah. I want to be like him when I grow up.
I do too. What is Inner Child Work with Sam Eldridge, another guy that we're definitely going to be talking to again. His idea of getting your face off the mat enough, just having enough distance from the mat to have a different perspective on your life, kind of the 1% better, but being able to lift your face off the mat has really stuck with me.
I love that.
And finally, Recovering from Spiritual Abuse with Brian Lee. That's the top 10. Yeah.
Which is, I mean, so many good episodes in there and so many more to come.
So many more to come, and so many that aren't in that 10 that we think are
Yeah.
so worth your time.
Yeah. and we've got a lot of, we got to have some of those people back. I want to have everybody back. I want to do more episodes with us, just you and I. We've got some other really exciting guests already booked. Do we let it be a surprise, or do we get people a little excited of who's coming on?
I think we
What do
can
you think?
mention a few of them. Why not?
Yeah, let's do it. And we've got some that are still kind of in the works, but we're pretty sure are going to come on.
Yeah, maybe we don't mention those.
Okay. So what about the ones we already have booked? How's
yeah,
that?
let's go with the ones that we already have booked. Hit them with it, dude.
Oh, you want me to go? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've got Annie Downs coming on.
Oh, yeah.
In the fall.
Yep.
I'm not sure when we'll release the episode, but we're
Like
recording with her this
mid-September.
fall. Yeah. Boy, that'll be fun. She's
Yeah.
the host of the That Sounds Fun podcast and podcast network. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you know who Annie Downs is. She is a killer voice and presence, and that's gonna be a fun episode.
Yeah.
We graciously, meaning on his part, have. I'll start by saying this way: we left a World Series MVP for the Chicago Cubs in a virtual waiting room for 30 minutes
Yeah.
that we had no idea about, and had to cancel the recording and reschedule it. And he, being Ben Zobrist,
Yeah.
MVP of the
2016 Chicago Cubs.
rescheduled to come back with us, which is really gracious on his part because we had no idea. We were waiting for him. He was waiting for us. His assistant was on an airplane, so we couldn't talk to her. It was a mess, but that
Thank
one will be
goodness
fun
he's
too.
kind. Yeah, that'll
Yeah.
be cool.
He's got a mental health nonprofit for teens. And
Champion
parents.
forward.
Yeah, that'll be fun to talk about. Who else?
We've got Dr. John Deloney.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Yeah,
him.
yeah. From he has a big podcast with the Ramsey Network.
Mhm.
Just this incredible voice in the mental health field. And if you haven't watched him, he's so entertaining. Like he's
Yeah.
just so raw with his reactions. He's authentically
he
him
is.
wherever he is.
Yeah.
So check him out. And then I know we have one other fun one in September. You want to tell him about that? He's got a new podcast about fatherhood.
Oh yes. Oh no, I'm blanking on his name. Hold on, it starts with a J.
Yeah.
Justin
Whitby.
Whitmill Early. Yes, I said it right. You don't trust me? You're looking it up.
Yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it.
Yeah, I know I nailed it. Justin Whitmill Early, who wrote the pretty popular book, came out a couple years ago, maybe, Habits of the Household. He's actually a lawyer and just happens to be an amazing author and a dad of, I think, 3 teenage boys. And
Man.
also just launched his own new podcast called Intentional Fatherhood, which is a great one you should check out. He's coming on. That'll be a sick conversation.
I got
we
to
have-
tell my oldest brother about having him on, and
Yeah.
he started the conversation with, "Have you heard of the Intentional Fatherhood podcast?" His buddy had just sent it to him, and he was like,
Nice.
"You got to listen to it. It's so good." And I was like, I have. He's coming on our podcast.
Yeah.
like- Again, the particularities are so cool.
If you can't tell, we still are kind of like in awe of how some of these guests and I know these are just people. Like at the end of the day, they're no different from us. They just happen to have really big audiences and have a really big impact and are doing things in the world that we hope to do.
Right.
So they're a little further ahead of us in that sense. At the end of the day, they're no different than you or I.
Yeah.
But we've been so excited and like surprised and giddy a little bit from these people being gracious enough to say yes to come on.
Yeah. So kind. Like, the
Yeah.
kindness, it really is a continual experience of kindness we don't deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Lexi Florentina, she is coming on in the fall. She is a somatic experiencing therapist. If you don't know what that is, it's all about the body, and that'll be, you can look her up on Instagram. She's got a lot of good content. That'll be a really good practical episode to help us get even a little bit deeper on what does it look like to have a healthy relationship with our bodies. So yeah, we've got some exciting things coming up in the fall, even more potential guests that we're not going to name in case we don't want to get our hopes up that
Yeah.
we might
Hopefully
be
a
getting in the
spiritual
spring.
formation professor will be on this fall.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So lots of big things. We're not slowing down. We've talked like off air, Jamie and I have, about how honestly how like hard this can be.
Yeah.
I mean, every Thursday we record this. I record it, and then I have a 30-minute window before I go see 5 clients. And I'm not asking for like sympathy. We chose this. We're wanting to do this, but it is hard.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of grace for ourselves and for each other. But again, like the feedback we are getting from y'all is just showing us that this is meaningful and that we're going to keep doing it. And we're also going to grow it beyond just a podcast. We're not just going to be talking at you every week. We're going to be rolling out some cool offerings next year, maybe even this year. Who knows? Stay tuned.
That's right.
So yeah, maybe Jamie, there's so many more things we could talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, maybe I'll ask this. What is something that you have learned about yourself in doing this for the last 6 months?
I think if I'm being compassionate to myself, then something that I have learned is to celebrate how much work I have done on my own story, and how we've talked about this before. Our buddy Bobby, who has been such a gift to us in helping us get this podcast off the ground, he said at the beginning to make sure that you discuss things and recognize the curse of knowledge that you have, like where we worked really hard to learn something, and so don't assume that other people know it just because you know it. And I think in a way that's been surprising, I have realized how many things I have worked hard to win in my own story, and I've learned that through recognizing how poor of a job sometimes I do at explaining things that I think would be a curse of knowledge issue, where I listen back to an episode and I'm like, I got to make a note to remember next time to explain things like that, because it feels like I come from this place of, if I worked hard to learn it, then you probably already know it, which is a self-worth and self-esteem issue in myself. And this podcast has really helped me through growing in how I podcast. It's helped me be like, wow, I know some things that I've worked hard to earn.
Yeah. And your story is valuable and your experience can help other people.
Yeah. That Andrew Bauman episode definitely taught me that, like, my imperfection across the board, there were technical issues, and if you know me at all, you know that I have a hard time putting out things that don't sound good. Like the theme song for our podcast is a song that I made, and I really enjoy producing in the audio engineering world. It's a world that I used to really be immersed in. So when I notice things that don't sound good, and by no means am I this master of that world, but I care a lot about it. And so when things like technical issues happen, Blake can tell you, I get really self-conscious, and I would check things with Blake. And then that episode also had this like real emotional thing to it that I had to check, and I was nervous about how does it reflect. And, I put all of that out, and it's like God's reminder that my imperfection is really, the authenticity of my imperfection is the most helpful part of this show, probably.
Yep. 100%. I would share that with you, honestly. Like, in different ways, I have the same desires for perfection and same fear of letting my in-process or my messiness be something that can be valuable to other people. And same thing with you, like trusting that I've learned some stuff and I've moved through some stuff. and I know some stuff. And not necessarily in like I know some intellectual things, I have more like knowledge than you, but like in my like my knowing,
Mm.
and what I've moved through is valuable. And
I think we saw that super clearly when we put out the walk and talk.
yeah. We need to do more of those.
Yep.
Those are fun. Yeah. So many things, right? Like we can keep going. So much that we've learned about ourselves, so much we've learned about men's mental health and vulnerability, about friendships, consistency, right? We've had so many like, oh wow, this is actually working moments.
Yeah.
And I know there would be many more to come.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, do you have anything else before I tell them what our little call to action is?
Yeah. Two things. One, I think
Only
I
one,
don't.
please.
Okay. I don't want to undersell the consistency piece. Even
Yeah.
Eric Floberg on his podcast Rally Caps, they
Yeah.
have this episode called "Consistency is Everything," I think, and it's also a reflection episode for them. But it really, I think it reflects something that's true about how we show up holistically as men, is doing the things that we find value in and that we want to value. Doing those consistently does pay off.
Mhm.
And there are weeks where this has felt like, is it worth doing this consistently? And I'm here to tell you the consistency has been key for us, both
Yep.
in our growth as podcasters, in our growth as a podcast, and also I think in our belief in ourselves to do this thing together.
Yeah, I mean consistency in our friendship, like
Yeah,
7 years of consistency before we launched this together.
totally. Yeah. Yeah. Show up
So-
consistently to the things you value. It
Yeah.
it will it'll merit results.
Yep.
And then the other thing is, meant to say this after we talked about the top 10 episodes. Those might not be your top 10, but they're just the top 10 that we saw and that resonated with people. And if you really want to support us, we're not asking you to like start paying for the podcast.
No.
What we would really love is both the commenting, like our guy Doug, and also, if you would send an episode to 3 people, whichever episode resonated with you the most. I'm talking to literally everybody listening to this show because you're probably like, oh, somebody will do that. No, I mean you, please.
You do it. Yes.
You do it. You're part of a very like large to us but small community right now, and without our community putting in the legwork for us to grow this thing, it's not going to happen.
Yep.
And so we want to say thank you for being here in the first place,
Mm-hmm.
and then tangibly, if you would be willing to take 5 minutes and share this thing with 3 different people, you could help us triple the size of our audience.
Yeah, which is crazy. Which would then, like, it will also allow us to do more things. Like,
Yep.
we are hoping to get to this place where maybe we start working with some sponsorships, or we start some other offerings where we are bringing some money in to get out of the hole a little bit, so that we can scale back even some of our individual clients a little bit and be able to provide more in-depth offerings than just the episodes. And yeah, leave us a review. We've got, I think, 30 something 5-star reviews on Spotify, 59 on Apple Podcasts, or maybe it's the opposite, 30 on Apple. 50
Regardless,
something
y'all really showed up with the reviews. Thank
Yeah.
you for doing that.
Keep them coming.
Keep them coming.
All right. We were talking about what could we do for, like, what could we give back as part of this celebration? And what we landed on was we're going to give away a free coaching session. So
Yep.
what you need to do, the link is going to be, or our email is going to be in the show notes, either the email or the website, whichever. hello@3percentco.com. I want you to click on that email. And if you have something that like a situation you're working through that you feel stuck with, a theme maybe in your life that you've been noticing, and you would want to spend 30 to 45 minutes with Jamie and I and us helping you work through that. It's not therapy, it'd be more like coaching, but helping you work through that. And then that would be an episode that we would release, or that would be a conversation that we would release as an episode. And if you wanted that to be anonymously, we could maybe figure that out and just do audio. We could figure that part out. But part of it is you would be consenting to whatever we're talking about being something that would be released as an episode for other people to be able to benefit from hearing your story and hearing you work through things. So if you've got something, send us an email and we'll go through those and we'll pick one person to do that with.
The subject line of the email can be, Blake, your mustache sounds great.
Yes. If you have an even higher chance of getting selected if that is the subject line. So go to the show notes, go to the website, send us an email, and just give us like 2 to 3 sentences, short paragraph about what it is that you would want to work through. And we would love to sort through those and pick somebody to do that live with. So
yeah.
Happy 6 months.
Happy 6 months. Everybody, we say it at the end of every episode, but we are so thankful. We are so glad you're here.
Yep.
Please keep coming back and drag your friends with you.
Yep.
You are all worth it.
Amen. Peace. Hey, thanks for tuning in to another episode. Listen, we're working on some really practical resources to help you connect more deeply with yourself and others. So if you head over to our website, 3percentco.com, you can learn more about that. The link will be in the show notes. And this is the part of the show where we ask you for some help. Listen, we don't have a big fancy production team. We're recording these in my therapy office in between sessions and in the margins of our life. We just really believe in the message that much. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and rarely would I take the time to review and rate a show, just because honestly, I forgot. It wasn't until we started doing this show that I realized doing that actually really does help these platforms notice our show and get the word out. And so if any of this is impactful to you, we would love it if you took a second to leave us a review, rate us, or if you want to just do it the old-fashioned way, text this link to a friend and say, hey, let's talk about this episode. Whatever you do, make sure to follow us on whatever platform you're listening to so you never miss an episode. We're really grateful you're here, and we'll see you next week.
So let's be honest.